Good evening, partner.
Good evening, partner.
Magandang Martes na gabi sa iyo.
Yes, magandang Would you
happy
believe
to
it?
Be with you again.
Yes, happy birthday ulit.
Hi. Yan tayo eh. Oo,
Mm-mm.
ako talagang dumalapit na ako sa golden age of 50. Malapit pa lang.
Yeah,
Hindi
golden
pa,
age
no?
of wisdom yan, wisdom. Yes.
Kaya isang araw lang, mukhang 48 lang ako ngayon, mukhang 49 na ako. Bilis ng panahon. Ayun na maganda sa birthday ko kasi pagkatapos ng ng Pasko, hindi pa ako tapos eh. Meron pa akong nilulook forward, 'di ba? Yung aking kaarawan, aking birthday. So maraming salamat sa lahat ng mga bumati, no? At karamihan yung mga ating taga-subaybay dito sa mga followers natin sa The Resto Coach. Maraming salamat po, no? Isa sa mga pinag-pray ko. I always pray for our followers and subscribers and and viewers, no? At sa mga nag-share, it's very much appreciated. Siyempre pag nagbe-birthday ka, nagiging medyo sentimental and na-appreciate mo yung yung nire-rewind mo yung nakaraang taon and 2020 was actually very good for the Resto Coach in terms of enhancing or strengthening its purpose and also yung accelerating the expansion or of reach, no? Mas lalo tayong napanood na nung medyo nangangapa tayo nung unang bahagi pero syempre we found our bearings nung medyo May and we started the coach and share.
Yes.
No, and I'm happy to say na maraming nagme-message sa akin ngayon. I'm actually coaching 2 people right now, all from the Resto Coach initiative, and it's for free. And I'm just as excited as these startup owners to talk about their new businesses, and nagiging exciting po para sa akin na nabibigyan niyo po ng mas malalim na kahulugan yung aking 49 years dito sa mundo. So thank you. Thank you very much, people.
Yes. Ayan.
So, magbabatian muna tayo dahil medyo itong heads up lang. Kaya medyo maraming tinta yung inyong ballpen ngayon at saka medyo marami pang bakanting spaces yung inyong notebook because maraming pages because marami po tayong exciting at medyo technical but at the same time interesting and very important concepts sa pag-uusapan ngayon about the outlook for 2021. So, syempre ang roll call natin, unang-una sa lahat si Jas Pestaño Distrito.
Nakakatuwa.
Blooms to last, no? Na nagpasaya ng aming holidays sa kanyang mga halaman, pati halaman at bulaklak, no? Siya nagpo-provide dito sa bahay namin. Ay naka-virtual background lang ako pero hindi ko na-set up. At yung karamihan ng halaman dito ay galing po sa Blooms to Last, Miss Jas Pestaño Distrito. Maraming salamat. No, Emily Enalpe, Nestor Cadiz, and Donald Tenorio. Si Donald Tenorio, ma-appreciate mo talaga, no? Kahit napakalayo niya sa atin, parating present, parating early. Maraming salamat paring Donald sa inyo dyan sa Australia. Nag-post siya ng picture, nasa beach sila, nakakainggit.
Sarap!
Sabi ko nga, pagpunta ko doon sa darating na mga panahon, isama nila ako doon sa beach na yan. Magandang gabi sa iyo. Hindi ko alam kung umaga dyan sa inyo ngayon. Paring Donald and Maring Jenny Tenorio. Maraming salamat.
At saka sa Australia ngayon ang tawag nila Donut Day? Kasi 0 cases sila today. 0.
Wow! Congratulations po at mabuhay kayo mga kababayan natin at mga kaibigan sa Australia, the land down under. So, si Nixon Distrito, syempre, hindi sapat na isa lang ang nanonood sa pamilya nila. Dalawa pa. Si Melvin Icaro mula po sa ating, maraming salamat sa pagbati mo at sa lahat dyan sa Shell SLEX, no? Sa May, dun sa, wala naman binabayad sa akin ng Nike, pero syempre yung pinaka-landmark doon, sa may Nike outlet doon sa Shell Mamplasan. May Buffalo Wings and things po doon. No? Lumakas yan nung pandemya. At mula sa UK naman, representing the UK, nagsisimula na silang mag-vaccine dyan. No? Victor Mempin, maraming salamat, classmate. Magandang gabi sa inyo. Connie De Guzman. Miss Senya Marvive. Ayokong ma-mispronounce yung mga pangalan. No? Gandang gabi rin po sa inyo. Dionisio Kabuga Jr., Chuchay Hermoso, yan si Chuchay, parating naririto yan. And of course, mawawala bang taga-Unilever na Miss Peachy de la Cruz. See you tomorrow, ma'am. Maraming salamat sa pag-invite sa akin sa second year ko na dyan sa inyong event, no? Sa Unilever Food Solutions. Sarsonas Michael Vincent, no? Stan Maravilla, Patulot, Renaline Redova, The Vocal. And ito si Attorney Randy. Attorney Randy, gandang gabi sa iyo, ha. Paring Joven Gose. Ayan.
Yan.
Again, sorry na sa request ko. Dadalian ko na lang yung request ko para bukas.
Kaya niya na yun.
Hindi na masyadong pang grand finals. Pang ano muna, pang weekly finals muna. Maris Marfil, how are you? Kamusta ka na? No? Si Mr. Don Tan, magandang gabi po. Happy New Year, sir. Jerome Gray Garcia, Tony Cruz, Tila Dimna, Formentera. Lovely Gale, Rogelio Tampos, brother, magandang gabi sa iyo. Glenjor Bulanhagi, and Mark Anthony Ferrer. Maraming nanonood sa ating ngayong gabi, so gagalingan natin lalo. John Paul San Juan, regular natin yan. Jamaica Bibal. Good evening po sa inyong lahat at sa lahat ng, again, sa lahat ng mga bumati sa atin at more importantly, sa lahat ng sumusubaybay. It's our 35th episode. Mantakin mo yun, ano? 35 episodes, meron pa tayong bakasyon nung holiday season.
Oo.
No? So, aside from that, almost linggo-linggo yan. So, from last week, ano ba yung mga top 3 takeaways?
Ayan, ang ating magandang top 3 takeaways, yung nakita natin ng COVID as a great accelerator. We saw it as an opportunity. Na kumbaga, it sped up digitization, delivery options, and overall accessibility, di ba, Coach?
Yes, it's amazing how different our mindset now and our outlook is from the time that where it was in March of 2020, if you remember, and even when we started here, no, May 2020, talagang iba pa, no? We were just trying to pep people up and to perk up people and to provide optimism, of course, anchored on facts and insights, but ang importante rin dito sa atin is ma-appreciate natin yung acceleration, hindi lang ng mga technology, digital solutions, but more so yung acceleration din ng ating maturity on how to deal with COVID-19. Yung ating pag-evolve ng ating mindset, yung ating mindset ng looking at the opportunities. Di ba? Yun yung isa sa mga talagang pin-promote natin dito na focus on the opportunities. Di ba? And prepare yourself, alam na natin, mayroong mga ganyang napakalaking event sa kasaysayan ng mundo yan. And what the best thing to do is just to understand, accept, embrace it, and look at the opportunities that it presents. And for those who are able to do that, yun yung sinasabi mo, nakapag-accelerate siya ng mga developments na mapapakinabangan even beyond the COVID-19 crisis.
Yes, and more importantly also, I think paulit-ulit tong second concept, yung reinforcement ng importance ng customer feedback and agility to build and sustain brand trust.
Yes, yung availability of information and feedback, napakadali na ngayon because it's people are posting on social media, so they're reaching out, and there are reviews, etc. And all you have to do is really to focus your attention and listen and observe and be genuinely concerned, Genuinely concerned meaning genuinely concerned to get the customer's feedback and improve. Di ba naging topic nga natin din last time yung be better. And you can be better faster pagka nakikinig ka at nakukuha ka ng feedback from the customers.
Tama yan, Coach. Actually, kaya nga inuulit ko, gusto kitang client before kasi nakikinig ka. Kasi madali talagang ma-inlove sa idea, di ba? Especially baby mo yan, brand mo siya. Pero at the end of the day, hindi ikaw magde-define Customer ang magde-define. So, kailangan makinig. Ayun.
Yeah, lalo pa kasi yung recognition din, tama yung example na ginamit mo, It's the owner's recognition that if you're an owner, you're not necessarily the market of your brand. So, kailangan ma-recognize mo din yun.
And then last is the refocused. We redefined what is essential. The value expectation has been higher than ever.
Tama, And tonight we will continue with that topic also, Paano bang na-redefine yung value? Not only from the customer's perspective, but also tonight ang pag-usapan natin yung business side of it, Yung tinatawag na redefinition of value and the escalated or elevated expectations, ano yung magiging impact niyan sa negosyo, no? And before tayo magpatuloy sa ating part 2, I just like to request sa ating mga live viewers, no? Mas marami kasi tayong viewers after nung live, eh. No, we average about 1,500 viewers per episode. At maraming salamat. Yan po ay nangyayari dahil sa tulong nyo, no, sa pag-share nyo. So please, no, tag your friends. Na hindi naman po kailangan dito kagad sa live tayo, but some people warm up to it, and a lot of you are regulars na, no? Nakikita ko naman sa iyo dito, and share the experience with others, no? And lalo po ngayon, January pa lang, maganda pong pasimula to sa taon natin na maging equipped tayo. Wala pong mawawala, no? And again, all of the episodes through the hard work of Bianca and Cher are all in the YouTube library natin, no, dun sa ating page, and also on Facebook. Pwede niyo pong i-replay yan. More importantly, ang magpapadami po sa atin na matutulungan is yung pag-share niyo po sa mga kakilala nyo na nasa industriya. Nakakatuwa nga yung nag-post tayo nung promotion for this episode. May mga kaibigan tayo na nagtatag sila. No? Isa pong malaking tulong yun kasi para mas marami pong makinabang. Lalo yung mga technical episodes na ganito kasi ito po yung kailangan talaga natin na we need to equip ourselves with information and insights like the ones from last episode and tonight's episode para po maging handa tayo for 2021.
Be better, kumbaga.
Yes, so i-share natin yung ating screen para masimulan na natin yung part 2 ng ating no. Hindi ko alam kung aabot ng part nito, depende sa sarap ng kwentuhan natin.
Handang-handa na ako.
Yes, tinapos ko na yung deck, pero kung kakapusin tayo ng oras, gagawin na lang natin siya na siguro na hanggang part 3. No? Sige. So, eto, no, ang pag-uusapan natin is part 2 of our episode on 2021 Resto Industry Outlook. Okay? So, ilabas ang mga notebook, buklatin natin sa pahinang bakante at testingin na natin ang ating mga ballpen, ano?
Oo.
Pero totoo niyan, marami nag-note sa telepono na lang ngayon. Ako kasi old school ako eh.
Ako rin eh.
May notebook pa rin ako.
Mas natatandaan ko kasi isulat eh. Kahit, diba?
Okay. Sige, simulan na natin.
Ayan. So, ang ating first point is yung food safety will still be the primary concern.
Yes, no. With what happened in 2020, hindi namin, as speaking as a restaurant owner and a business owner, hindi namin i-risk, no, yung mga lahat ng ikanganap na pagdaanan ng 2020 and all the reinvestment on safety, etc., by being relaxed in terms of checking food safety. So when you talk about supply, although food cost is important, we will never compromise and go for cheaper items but compromise yung food safety. So, ang mangyayari dyan, lahat ng mga requirements for suppliers will be stricter. Ibig sabihin, dati pwedeng, I'll be very straightforward. And this is something that I speak strongly, and openly about, yung nagkaroon ng phenomenon of, people just opening up, not just wings places, Sangyup, etc. Unknown to customers, hindi nagkakaroon ng ng strict standard of checking kung saan nanggagaling yung mga raw materials na ginagamit dito sa mga bagong bukas na food establishments na to. I think in 2020, that was one of the blessings na nangyari din, blessings in disguise, that nagkaroon ng panibagong emphasis on food safety. And I think from here on, hindi na i-relax ng mga food owners yan, ng mga legitimate food business owners or mga resto negosyantes, because now talagang nare-realize natin with all of these things happening and how hard it was for us to recover from the crisis, hindi mo iko-kompromiso yung food safety. So, ano yung ibig sabihin niyan? So, it will, ang advice natin at the same time, an outlook on what will happen for 2021, suppliers will be subjected to stricter requirements by restaurant owners.
Basic expectation na siya.
Yes.
Ayun. And then raw material prices will be volatile and food costs will continue to be a major challenge.
Yes, and unfortunately, kung mahirap yung food cost ng 2019 at tumirap lalo nung 2020. 2020 medyo siya, ang hirap hulihin. Kasi dahil ang daming oversupply nung initial part, ang daming try mag-dispose ng inventory.
Mm-mm.
But towards the part of December, it was the first December na hindi mahulaan ng mga supplier kung tatakbuhin ng produkto.
Mm-mm.
No, ng produkto. I mean, in terms of restaurants, how restaurants will perform. So it is the first December of the pandemic and hopefully the last. No? Ang prediction naman natin dyan, ang projection natin by next December, hindi na pareho yan. Okay na, may vaccine na no?
Mm-hmm.
So, but just the same.
May tanong ako.
Go ahead.
Yung sabi mo hindi siya pareho kasi may vaccine na, but will it still be based on pre-COVID trends or meron lang difference?
Well, number one, there will be a shift, no? Gaya nung napag-usapan natin last episode, mag-shift yan to different segments, no? In a lot of countries, QSR were the ones who actually were successful, aside from the ghost kitchens, no? Yung mga QSR, yung mga delivery-friendly food, no? Ibig sabihin, yung quality nila is talagang aligned with yung delivery. Meaning, yung quality does not really suffer too much from being delivered. So those who have successfully migrated from dine-in to delivery, and hindi gaano hospitality-centric, no? Hindi face-to-face dependent, no? Hindi dine-in dependent, mas madaling naka-migrate. But at the same time, no, ang sinasabi rin natin dito, all of these irregularities in terms of production, you have to remember, no, it's a global marketplace right now. For example, protein, meat, no? Hindi lahat yan nanggagaling ng sa Pilipinas. It's a global market. So nabanggit ko na sa isang episode, di ba? May bidding yan, no? So if the demand of China increases and China buys high, mataas ang presyo bigla ng produkto na kinuha mo, yung commodity na yon, no? Let's say, for example, chicken, which is very relevant now because of the ASF, no? African swine flu, na ang presyo ng pork dito sa Pilipinas, nakita na nangyari. Nagkaroon ng African swine flu, totally unrelated to COVID, but because of the factors involving COVID, na exacerbate, no? na aggravate, no? And tumaas palalo yung presyo ng pork. So, ang tendency ng tao, pupunta sila sa chicken. Kasi yung fish supply naman, hindi rin ganun ka-stable. And mahal ang beef sa Pilipinas, alam natin. So, all of these things, no, it makes it complicated. Kaya sinasabi natin, kailangan, no, staying on top of the supply chain. Ibig sabihin, alam mo yung commodities prices, alam mo yung projection, you know when to buy, no, for and where to buy and what to buy, no? Ano yung bibilin mo? Kasi, mamaya, as we will see in the next few bullet points of the slide, meron kaugnayan rin niya sa mangyayari sa menu development and innovation. Because, again, no, restaurant operators cannot just increase prices. No, kailangan mag-adjust tayo creatively to address yung management ng food cost. So, a lot of those will involve menu development. Pero ang forecast natin talaga, it's going to be unpredictable, unstable, and volatile. No? Talagang hindi mo mahuhuli pa ngayon. So, kung mababa ang presyo, kung marami kang cash, no? But again, no, learning from 2020, hindi ka rin magtatago ng maraming inventaryo. Diba? So, again, it's going to be more challenging and you'd have to be very detailed. No? Hindi pwede ngayon yung masyado ang gung-ho. No? But at the same time, you have to also be, diligent in analyzing data and trends in terms of pricing. Kasi hindi na siya yung tipong magkano sa palengke. Kailangan pag-aralan mo rin yung ano ba yung ibang option, may imported ba na nagbebenta, may distributor ba na ganito, saan kumukuha yung ibang restaurant. So mas magiging scientific dapat yung approach ng mga restaurant owners to find the best way to address yung raw material pricings. Ano pa lang yan, raw material price, and you have to factor in warehousing, distribution, depending on how many restaurants you have and your location, no? So transportation, lahat yan, kaakibat yan, no? Parang dulo is your landed cost na tinatawag pagdating sa pintuan ng restaurant mo. So you have to be more, in future episodes we will try to invite people who are more knowledgeable than me sa supply chain para mabigyan namin kayo ng mas detalyadong forecast or outlook in terms of supply and particularly raw material prices.
Grabe, second point pa lang, umatikabo na. Ayun. Ang ating next point ay, yan, innovative ways of enhancing value. Ayan, yung magiging favorite word natin. Enhancing value and driving food costs down will be more critical for survival, recovery, and growth. We will see a variety of menu strategies implemented.
Yes, no. And dati kasi it's a very linear approach, meaning okay, ito yung competition ko, we'll just watch each other's prices. Tingnan natin kung paano. No, you cannot do that, no. Because pare-pareho kayong lulubog. Ibig sabihin, no, if you will just depend on a linear approach of raw material price increase and I will increase my price, hindi pwede kasi sensitive din yung market, no? Sensitive din yung market. A lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people are working from home. So iba yung budget kasi when you're working from home and ordering for the daily food of your family, kumpara sa kasama mo yung mga ka-opisina mo na magla-lunch out kayo sa Makati. Iba yun, iba yung behavior nun, ano? Iba yung nag-order ka rin for delivery because delivery prices are higher because of the commissions and all the other collateral costs, associated costs. So again, no, the dynamics of the economics nung pag-order sa restaurant, papasok dyan yun. No? So that should be considered. So ang challenge, how do you innovate to drive value higher, no? And at the same time, gain profit from that creation or innovation. No, makakita tayo ng mga creative ways ng mga restaurants kung paano nila babaguhin yung kanilang mga menu, paano nila i-strategize yung kanilang menu approach, no? Ano yung matitirang may tinatawag kasi tayong core menu, lalo pa sa mga restaurants na mayroong signature items, and alin yung mga limited time offers na lang o yung mga tipong seasonal, no? Kasi hindi ka rin pwede mag-keep niya ng maraming inventaryo at maraming items sa menu. No, I'm telling you, 99% of restaurants, when you eat out right now, there will be at least 1 or 2 items unavailable. Not because mapangit yung management ng restaurant, but simply because people are just being practical. You don't offer the whole menu now with maybe 30 items. You just try to compress your menu. And even up to now, hesitant pa rin yung mga tao to because again, no, the definition, ang punto is value. How do you number one, how do you appreciate and understand the redefined definition, the redefined definition of value for consumers? And yan dyan nakakatulong yung mga kaibigan natin from Tangere, di ba? Yung mga surveys nila na simbilis ng kidlat, di ba, na andyan na kaagad, no? And yun yung importansya ng feedback from customers na tinatawag. How do you adapt and evolve your menu to make sure na what you're offering is high value, but at the same time, it's not compromising your bottom line.
Yes.
Diba? So marami tayong exciting na menu changes na makikita sa mga restaurants. No? Especially yung mga dating buffet, ano na gagawin nila. Yung mga dating ang lawak ng menu, no, ang daming items, ano yung gagawin nila. No? And yung mga combinations, no, bundles, no, deals, no. Kasi yung promo ngayon, mahirap mag-promo ngayon. With razor thin margins ngayon, mahirap mag-umasa na dati sobrang leverage ang customers. Daming nag-o-offer ng same type of product, no, samgyup, only wings, etc. That na-leverage ng customers yun. Hindi, kung ayaw yung baba. So ngayon, hindi na ganun. No? Because as you noticed, marami na rin, unfortunately, maraming restaurants din na nagsara. So ang natira, yung mga tipong dedicated and determined na lang to pursue. And ang prediction natin is that value will be king, no, in terms of hindi pricing, no, value.
Value, agree. Ayan. Creative procurement and supply chain solutions will emerge from the uncertainties and challenges. Collaborations, consolidations, and other cooperative solutions will be developed and used.
Yan, yung yung sinasabi natin na dati, again, yung approach mo is the typical, no, okay, let's just build a commissary. Parang madaling sabihin yan, no, because ngayon nakita natin, noong 2020, yung nangyari sa mga may commissary din. Meron ding pros and cons, diba? So, what are creative ways to solve? No, how can we consolidate with other industries? How can we share resources with other restaurants? No, yung mga tipong ang collaborations na makikita natin ng 2021, yung hindi mapapailing tayo ng nakangiti because wow, nag-collaborate sila.
Yeah.
Di ba? Wow, di ba? Parang akala natin magkalaban sila. And for us in Buffalo Wings and Things, yan sa mga nasimulan namin ng maaga na nagpatawid sa amin nung pandemya, no. Meron kaming partner yung FSS, no, na from purchasing to collection, sila ang nag-handle for us. So that made it easier for us to focus on our core, which is operations, marketing, no, and business development. Diba? So imagine kung somebody is handling your purchasing hanggang collection mo ng supplies, no. Yun yung advantage na I think, help us survive in 2020. And there will be more of those types of solutions that will be formulated by restaurant owners due to, sabi nga nila, diba, necessity is the mother of invention. Diba? Hindi ko lang alam kung ano yung father, no? Kasi pero yung mother lang ang narinig ko, no? Pero totoo yun, ano? And nangyayari na siya. Sabi ko kanina, na-accelerate. Ito naman, na-necessitate, kaya inimbento, in-innovate. And now it will be, it will be commonplace. I think by the end of 2021, people will start looking at the supply chain aspect of restaurant business differently. No? Kumbaga, kung sa business model, nagkaroon ng delivery and carry-out model, ghost kitchen, sa supply chain, magkakaroon ng mga hybrid solutions, purely new solutions, and marami pang iba. And again, we'll try to invite somebody from the supply chain, yung mga mas eksperto dyan para matulungan natin yung ating mga kapwa resto negosyante na, supply chain, alam mo sa totoo lang, no? Yan ang isa sa pinaka hindi gustong tingnan kaagad ng nagninegosyo sa restaurant. But that is the most, the fastest, reality na magsisink in sa'yo pag nagsimula ka ng negosyo. Kasi una, mamamalengke ka lang. Nung una, simple lang. Mag-isa pa lang yung branch mo. And then, pag lumaki yung volume mo, which is a blessing, then you start realizing there should be a better way of doing this. And yun, so shortcut na natin para sa mga tagapakinig natin. Tutulungan natin sila sa aspetong yan.
Yan. And then, quality and stability of local raw material supply for restaurant businesses will be put on the national spotlight, and the demand for long-term solutions will intensify.
Okay, biglang naging seryoso yung aking muka. And seryosong topic to, no? Because if the government really wants to help yung restaurant industry, isa ito sa mga aspeto na kailangan tutukan, bigyan ng pansin, no? And maybe, we're not asking for too much. Di ba? Napag-usapan nga yan, di ba? Dati, even in the US up to now, pinag-usapan stimulus package. Sa totoo lang, kung susuriin mo, no, aanin mo yung dagdag puhunan kung mataas ang food cost mo. Aanin mo ang dagdag puhunan kung mataas ang renta. Aanin mo ang dagdag puhunan kung walang customers. So, unahin natin yon, di ba? Yung stimulating consumption, number one. Number two, ito, sa topic natin about supply, the government, I think, should scrutinize and start helping the restaurant industry by looking into the supply chain of restaurant businesses. Now, I cannot overemphasize the contribution of the restaurant sector, not only in terms of employment, but also in terms of decongesting the supermarkets, decentralizing the food, the food supply distribution daily food supply ng mga kababayan natin. Imagine kung walang restaurants, lahat yan nasa palengke, lahat yan nasa supermarket, lahat yan lalabas. And katuwang ng restaurants yung aggregators. Di ba? So, maganda yon. But ang tanong, how do you help yung pinaka-source, which is yung restaurants, survive? And by doing so, you will also help the supply sector. So, yung mga nagsusupply. Pero yung nasa supply sector, yun yung kailangan din nating tingnan. How can they help us? How can they help bring down food costs? How can they help stabilize supply? Availability na lang muna. Ito yung point doon. Availability of the right quality and specification. Kasi maraming available. Sabi, ang dami-daming manok Okay, na marami pong manok, pero yung tamang sukat po ng manok, tamang timbang, at kung willing po silang chop-chopin yung manok, parang ibenta lang ay picture, kung picture lang ang kailangan mo, yung po doon po nagbumula yung complication yan. That's why we're actually getting imported chicken of as high as 60% of the supply for restaurants abroad. Hindi dito nanggagaling yan. So those are the things that needs to be put on the national spotlight. Kasi hindi po glamorous pag-usapan yan. Hindi yan kasing sayang pag-usapan ng showbiz news or ng mga crime or whatever, no? But reality is yung food security po, malaking component po niyan is yung food supply, no? Kasi when you talk about food security, may bigas, merong karne, pero paano makakarating dun sa mga customers? And lalo-lalo pa sa Metro Manila and even provincial, no, you'll be surprised. May mga point in time kami na mas mataas ang benta namin sa probinsya kaysa sa Metro Manila. Malaking factor po ang restaurant industry sa convenience and accessibility, providing safe, no, prepared food to our citizens. So kailangan suportahan sila doon sa, 'di ba? Magkaroon ng longer term solution. Doon sa taon-taon na lang, 'di ba? May nagso-shortage ng manok. 'Di ba? Bakit? Taon-taon nagkakaroon ng issue about certain items, no? Even packaging sometimes may issue. And prices are unregulated. So maybe it's high time for somebody, no? And unfortunately, walang party list ang restaurant, no?
I was just about to ask kasi yung share of
wala
voice,
yan,
kailangan ng representation ng industriyang
lalo ngayon kasi nga, no, essential service siya, eh. So that's something that it needs to be discussed. And we are, the Resto PH and other restaurant organizations, I'm sure, no, are doing their best to be heard by legislators and government people, no, DTI. But ngayon kasi ang focus ng lahat yun munang pandemya.
Yes.
But I predict that, as it gets clearer in terms of the vaccine distribution, vaccination, and going back to to a better normal, mapag-uusapan na yan. Mapag-uusapan na yan. Otherwise, tataas po ng tataas yung presyo or malalagas ng malalagas yung mga restaurants, mangungonti. Sayang naman po ang nasimula natin for the past decade, di ba?
It shouldn't be a choice between life and livelihood naman kasi dapat, di ba?
Yes, and also, no, emphasize ko lang po, yung quality ang hindi po napag-uusapan ng kasing dalas na dapat pag-usapan siya. We talk about, availability, but ang daming wastages. Wastages are coming from specifications and standards, no? Nakakalungkot na pag kinuha mo sa ibang bansa, ang ganda ng specs ng manok. Pero pag dito nang galing sa Pilipinas, parang binibigay sa restaurant yung hindi nabili sa palengke or may ibang priorities, eh. So we need to look into that. And I think, the restaurant industry people, if consulted, and they should be, we should be, will be able to help resolve the situation. Para po, magtuloy-tuloy po yung economic contribution ng restaurant industry sa ating national economy.
Okay. And then concerns on meat supply, sustainability, and health will increase the acceptance of protein alternatives and other substitutes. Value of flavors will continue to rise.
Yes, no. And hindi lang po, ngayon nakikita natin na na-accelerate din ng pandemic yung yung meatless, vegan options, of course, aside from plants, insects, yan, nag-gain na ng traction yan sa ibang bansa talaga, yung paggamit ng mga insekto, plants, of course, plant-based, and other substitutes, and even in terms of within the category of meat, lamb, goat, yung mga mas madaling kasi you're leaving culinary people and restaurant people with no choice but to be more creative, diba?
Yes.
And I think yun yung realization dapat ng nasa sector ng pagsusupply, that to recognize how big of a help ang kailangan ng restaurant industry pagdating sa supply. Dalawang magkasunod na bullet point yan. Parehong pinatutungkulan, it's a reaction towards a solution, a problem, challenge that has been here for decades, and with the ASEAN free trade, I think it is going to be accelerated again after the pandemic has been resolved, lalong magiging complicated for local suppliers. So might as well collaborate with restaurant industry players now, and let's come up with a collaborative solution. Yeah.
Yes, actually, Coach, nakakatawa yung last point mo kasi I think just last night I watched yung mga favorite ng mga tao ngayon na nagpa-follow, yung mga food shows, that even top chefs are looking into internal organs. Ngayon nagiging in na siya. Dati parang sobra tayong off eh. Ngayon because of supply. Nagkaka-issues on supply.
Well, also because of sustainability, a lot of the chefs are, realizing that you should not throw away anything.
Yes.
Because, to produce one cow na ibubutcher mo, di ba? Most of the people watching us right now, most probably napanood nyo na sa Netflix yan, di ba? Yung paggawa ng karne ng baka is sobrang daming tapon na tubig, sobrang daming lupa na ginagamit, no? And grains and etc., no? So, hindi siya efficient, no? And these are the things that will, that's why ang magandang balita naman is, dadaanin sa flavors. Because people will realize the value of flavors now. No, it's not just about feeling yourself, but it's the totality of the experience, and most of it will be driven by taste. Actually, yan naman ang nagbibigay ng joy sa atin, di ba? Yung sarap. So mula sa supply, no, ay tutungo naman po tayo. Yan po yung food cost na tinatawag. So nakita niyo yung approach po natin dito sa Resto Coach, sa Coach and Share. We did not tackle it like beginning inventory plus hindi po yung technical aspect na pangtindahan. Ang tinakal po natin yung malawak, yung macro, no? Ano yung mga mangyayari sa supply chain that will, you should anticipate as a resto negosyante and start working on the solutions as early as now. No? And, talk to your team, have a meeting, no? And yung mga mag-startup pa, no? Magandang awareness sa inyo na when you start your business, you should be aware that supply chain, since food cost is, it can be from 25% to depende sa concept, no, to 40% of your cost. Dapat marunong po tayo sa supply chain and sa mga detalye nito. Yan po talaga yung nakaka-apekto ng food cost. Hindi lang yung, of course, it's a different story, no, and we will have an episode on that, yung technical aspects sa tindahan, how to prep, how to, implement the disciplines, etc. Ibang episode po yun. Pero ito po yung outlook natin sa supply. Okay? So, bago tayo tumungo sa people, nako, dumadami yung mga kailangan nating batiin.
Speaking of people.
Oo, nakakatuwa kasi nga, ang daming pinanggagalingan po ng mga nanonood sa atin. Alex Reyes from Quezon pa po yan, no? Ka-birthday ko yan. Noong January 15, nag-birthday rin yan. Jess Pineda from Shakey's Pizza. Marlon Magno, Maricel Gardon, magandang gabi rin po sa inyo. Eliza Pamposa from Valenzuela. Budoy Carolino from Toyota. No? Marikina naman to, taga Marikina. Cindy Kabuhat, syempre pa, nandyan. Captain Neil Tobias Sia, no? Pilot po yan. Magandang gabi sa iyo, Captain. OMG, meron siyang business, no? OMG, potato fries. Ayan. Isa, niimbitahin natin siya dito para mapag-usapan niyang potato fries business. Jet Nava, magandang gabi sa iyo. Ichirems Ferrer, magandang gabi rin sa iyo. Tristan Remetilia. Angela Misoles, Jerome Mendoza Malayba, John Michel from Las Vegas, no? Magandang gabi sa inyo, Jay Castro and Tina Castro. Yung anak nila, no? Talagang yan ang inaabangan na sana maging one of the first few WNBA players na Filipina. Abangan natin niya si AJ Castro. Elmer Divina Gracia, magandang gabi po sa inyo. Volter Madela Aquino. Yan ang nag-imbita ng mga ibang kaibigan natin para tinag niya para manood ngayong gabi. Of course, ang aking anak na si Yam, magandang gabi sa iyo. At kay Jaren, na unofficial endorser ng Coach and Share.
Na madadagdagan?
Oo, nadagdagan na kami, ha? Si Gianna. Luna DC, Gerald, Nympha Arce, magandang gabi po sa inyo. Kiel Patapat, magandang gabi and welcome to BWNT. Commissioner Chito Hauregi, magandang gabi po sa iyo at sa lahat ng mga Howball brothers natin. Mami Sin Pineda, of course, regularly supporting us. Aside from giving me fashion advice, no? Jomar Florencio, Jan Sapasap, Rosebel Reyes, ang dahil nating tagapanood. Leo Alvarado, magandang gabi, partner. Of course, Roberto Tabinas Jr., nabanggit natin kanina, parating nandyan yan, active, participative. Erwin Lancero at mga taga-hotel Marciano. Brother Dan Tanchoco, magandang gabi. Marinor de Guzman, John Eldrick ng dami, nakakatuwa po. Magandang gabi. And of course, si Ma'am Sining, no? Napatuloy na suporta sa akin mula nung grade 5 pa ako. Gandang gabi po, ma'am. Mula sa Mingkawayan, Bulacan po yan. So, tuloy tayo, share. Ito naman, pag-usapan natin. Kanina yung outlook sa supply chain. Ngayon, ano ba yung outlook tungkol sa tao?
Sa tao.
No? So, imbis na ilagay natin labor cost, no? People. Kasi yung labor cost is about people. No? It's not just about, having nga natin dati. It's not just it's not a food business. It's not a restaurant business. It's actually a people business. Diba?
Yes. Ayan. Valuable lessons in productivity and efficiency will stick. Labor cost management standards will be stricter.
Yes, from the perspective of a business owner, from a restaurant owner, ang mindset namin, kaya naman pala eh. Di ba? Kaya naman pala natin with better people, more determined people, more productive people who were willing to take on other responsibilities and be more efficient. All of these lessons and learning will stick. No? Alam natin na isa sa mga opportunities sa Pilipinas yan. Ako, blessed ako na nakapagtrabaho ako sa restaurant sa iba't ibang lugar. And yun yung minsan na frustration mo na bakit sa Pilipinas? No, not only in the restaurant industry, parang sa ibang industriya, tinotolerate natin yung patayo-tayo, tinotolerate natin yung walang side duties, no, kasi mababa daw yung labor cost. So ngayon, nung nagpandemya, na-realize natin. No, it's not about the labor cost. It's about productivity and the growth and development that comes from being productive. No, maraming leaders na nag-emerge, maraming nag-mature na bata. Nung pandemya, maraming natuto mag-bike, mag-motor, mag-drive, no? Maraming nag-step up. And yun yung realization natin that, owners will look at labor cost management standards in a more stricter, in a stricter sense. Na hindi na tayo babalik, siyempre na, wala ng pandemya, pwede na tayo hindi maging efficient. And maganda yan, no, for the long run. Ibig sabihin, mas mahasa yung ating tao. No? Yan naman yung parating mo sinasabi sila na maraming nagbubukas dati ng restaurants and hindi po tayo nagiging rito. No? Try to point out lang po natin yung tendencies of the industry, including us. Na sometimes we don't go through the discipline of recruitment, proper training, and then sinasalang na lang. No? Kasi ang taas ng demand, ang daming ina-open na branches, etc. Gusto na simulan yung bagong restaurant. And yun yung nangyari. No? And ngayon, ang maganda sa nangyari sa pandemya, nag-refocus eh. Nagkaroon ng reboot. No? Nagkaroon ulit ng tamang focus sa fundamentals, which is actually, hindi yan labor cost. It's productivity and efficiency.
Yan. Automation, digitization, and outsourcing aggregators will reduce jobs but increase the value of the jobs that will be left for humans to perform in the resto industry.
Yan, no, parang nakikinikinit ako si Arnold Schwarzenegger. No, ang ganda nung kanyang akala ko nanonood ako ng pelikula, nag-speech siya about dun sa Capitol no?
Oo.
Yung sinugod yung Capitol, akala mo eksena sa pelikula, pero we always forget na naging governor siya ng California and he's actually a Republican. So ang ganda rin nung pinanood ko yan. No? Anyways, yung automation, parang Terminator nga. No? Yes. Yung mga robots and machines and digital solutions, no? Well, hindi mo na mapipigilan yan. No? I'll give you a perfect and simple example. Nung nagkaroon ng pandemya, di ba, na lumakas yung delivery sector and nakat yung labor force sa tindahan by at least half. So, yung tinda, parang, and then the delivery carry-out model, nakita natin, mas konting tao yung kailangan. So, reality states na nababawasan talaga yung availability, yung jobs na available. But of course, it will be balanced out by, restaurants like Buffalo Wings and Things na mag-expand pa rin. But yung sa tindahan dati, 13, 14 yung tao. Ngayon, pwede ng 8, pwede ng 6. Because of the digital solutions, technological advances, and outsourcing, no? Ito, katotohanan to, and I'm sure marami makaka-relate. You go to a freestanding Jollibee now, and it is sometimes, nakalungkot tingnan na ang daming nakaparadang motor ng Jollibee, pero ang daming Grab drivers at Foodpanda drivers na nag-aabang ng order. So, ibig sabihin may mga riders na in-house ang Jollibee na nawalan ng trabaho. Dahil yung in-house delivery, not just Jollibee, McDonald's, baka magalit sa akin yung mga taga-Jollibee, pino-point out ko, no? Siguro for reference lang yon. Fast food chain, no? Na yung in-house talaga, naapektuhan. So it will continue, no? The trend will continue, no? May shifting, no? Outsourcing, no? Again, no? QR codes instead of menus, di ba? Non-cash payment solutions, di ba? Maraming epekto yan eh. Lesser need for servers, automated ordering, no? And but again, ang sinasabi naman diyan, yung may iwang trabaho will be more valuable. Kasi yun yung mga pangangailangan doon sa aspects that cannot be delivered by machines.
Yes.
Di ba? Di ba? Yung addressing customer feedback, di ba? Alam namang machine yung mag-solve ng customer complaint. Di ba? Kailangan may manager pa din. Kailangan meron pa rin nagtitimon, may leader pa rin yung shift, di ba? Yung magko-coach pa rin naman diyan, tao pa rin, di ba? Yung mag-audit, etc. No? And all of these things, no? All of these things. Meron pa rin pag-asa. Kaya sabi natin, mas kukunti yung mga open slots for work, and you can see that, alam mo, nangyari na yan. Japan, Hong Kong, Korea, ganyan na yung model nila. And ganun yung mangyayari sa Pilipinas. No, it will be a collaboration between a ordering module in the customer's phone and a back of the house person just delivering the order, but at the same time yung mga may iwang trabaho will be more valuable, mas may pagpapahalaga na, no?
Correct. At importante rin mag-step up.
Yes.
Ayan. And then availability of talented people from other industries affected by the crisis.
So tingnan mo yung points 2 and 3, no? Pagka pinagsama mo yan, ang sinasabi niyan sa mga nakikinig sa atin na nagtatrabaho sa restaurant as managers, leaders, we all need to step up. Because there will be people from the hotel industry, from the travel industry, who will migrate to our industry. And ang ibig sabihin niyan, maraming available na talent, mas konting available na slots. Di ba? So, kailangan galingan nyo. Okay? Kailangan galingan natin. And ako, I see it as a positive.
Yes.
No, not because I'm a business owner, but I came from the ranks. And ako, as yan naman ang platform ko nung araw pa eh. Kung performer ka, hindi ka matatakot sa ganyan. Sa halip, matutuwa ka. Dahil kumbaga sa basketball yan, gagaling yung mga kalaro mo. So, gagaling ka rin. Di ba? So, maghihilaan tayo pataas. Yeah. Yes, at may aangat natin yung standard ng industriya.
Yes. Totoo yan. Then, the evolution of service and hospitality will continue to accelerate, and this will trigger the need for innovative and more effective ways of recruitment, training, and leadership.
Exactly. No? Magkakadugtong-dugtong yung mga last few points na diniscuss natin. So, the evolution of service and hospitality. No, let's talk about numbers. Let's say, for example, pre-COVID, no, ang numbers ng tindahan mo, 15% delivery, 80% dine-in, 5% carry-out. No? Ang laki ng pangangailangan mo rin sa hospitality aspect. Di ba? Pero nung nag-shift, nung pandemya, unang-una, nung nag-lockdown nung simula, walang dine-in. So parang nagkaroon ng lesser focus on hospitality. More of service lang siya. No? Convenience, ang naging importansya, convenience, speed, ease of ordering, no, interface that is wala lesser pain points. Service lang ang medyo napagbigyan ng halaga, diba? But now with with all the developments, recent developments, and all that will be carried from the pandemic period, mag-e-evolve yung service and hospitality. Napag-usapan natin yung paano mo i-deliver yung hospitality kung naka-mask, diba? Yun yung sinasabi natin na na matagal ko na rin ina-advocate na kailangan talagang matutunan natin yung silent but mindful service that will make people feel your hospitality. How do you deliver warmth, joy, di ba? Happiness, no? Sa limitasyon. And ako, dediretsuhin ko, no? Past few experiences even in our own restaurants and other restaurants, nakakalungkot. Parang alam mo yung nagmask yung tao, parang feeling nila hindi na sila makikilala. So, hindi na natatakot, hindi na natatakot. Nagiging tayo, parang less mindful. Yon, I'll put it in a nice way na lang. No, daming taas ng kamay ng customer, ang daming kulang sa mesa, ang daming clustering doon sa kitchen area imbes na nandoon tayo sa dining area. And parang nagbigay ng invincibility yung mask eh. Parang yung Big Daddy nung nagsuot ng shades yung bata, parang invisible na ako. And wag po nating hayaan, no? Tandaan po natin yung second phase ng ating recovery, it will necessitate for us to promote dine-in pa din. no? Kailangan pa rin natin ng dine-in, no? Kasi pag nagpatuloy pong puro delivery na lang, napakalungkot naman pong mundo ng restaurant yan, no? So, and we cannot wait for the vaccine to be fully implemented. You have to remember, we have 100, I think 120 plus million na yata tayo, 130 million sa Pilipinas. Ayan, nadagdagan ng isa, dalawa, ayan, no? And then, di ba? So it's still a big population na kailangan i-vaccinate, no? Para ano, no? Mapunta tayo ron sa period na wala ng mask, wala ng ano. And again, no, we need to emphasize on hospitality and how, that emotional connection. Para hindi naman hindi naman masyadong puro na lang, functional aspect of eating in a restaurant or ordering from a restaurant ang mangyari.
At saka yung point natin last episode, right? People are very excited to dine in.
Yes.
Di ba?
They are. So kailangan mag-training tayo ngayon, mag-recruit tayo ng mga tao na, sabi nga natin, di ba, yung personality na talagang naturally warm. No? Yan ang mga makakalamang. Because it's natural for them to deliver warmth and joy and happiness to others. So again, no, don't for one moment think na mawawala na ng value ang hospitality.
Okay. Impact of culture and values alignment to recruitment, productivity, retention, and profitability will increase.
Yan, yung nakita natin nung pandemya, nung 2020, no? Isa sa mga nakita nating aspeto was the human aspect, no? Aspects, actually may S. Determination, grit, di ba? Perseverance, magbabike mula Bulacan hanggang North EDSA, magbabike mula Tondo hanggang Mandaluyong, maglalakad, nakikipagbakbakan sa COVID. Diba? And yun, dulot yun. Without culture, without a sound and well-established culture of a restaurant, plus the values that is aligned to yung values din ng mga tao, hindi mangyayari yon. So magkakaroon ng emphasis ulit sa mga intangibles na tinatawag, no? Culture, values, no? And yung alignment will be more important than ever. Then nakikita na ng negosyante yung dati seemingly intangible yan, yung mga values, core values, mission, vision, ngayon, yung purpose ngayon, nakikita nila. Yan yung nagpa-stay sa mga tao. Yan yung mga mga franchise partners na nag-open despite the challenges. No, it's yung human emotion and human factor of it, no? Nagkaroon ng ng value ulit yung alignment. No? So it will continue on. And ngayon masusukat na. Maniniwala na yung mga negosyante sa Pilipinas na kasi dati American concept yan Di ba? Pero ngayon nakikita na natin sa Pilipinas, no, yung dating corporate seminars lang ginagawa yan. Malalaking kumpanya ngayon, even in smaller businesses, you will see the value of culture, no, high performance culture, yung iba yung tipong purpose-centric culture, iba-iba yan, customer-centric culture. And you finding people that are aligned with that culture para maging madaling execution. Kasi nga, hindi mo mababantayan ang negosyo. You have to find people who will execute based on the vision, based on the culture, despite na hindi mo binabantayan. So may impact yan sa kita.
Yes, and I think it's important also to note yung concept na yan, yung intangibles, nagkaroon kasi ng findings before din sa HR. For millennials, they need to work for a company that has a cost bigger than them. Natatapos na yung pera-pera Ngayon, parang I need to believe something bigger than I am. So, dito nang pumapasok yung culture and values niya.
Well, lalo pa yung na-validate ng pandemic because dyan natin napatunayan yung need for concern, no? Hindi tayo nabubuhay sa isang barangay lamang o sa baloob ng bahay lang natin, no? Which is ironic because yun yung nangyaring epekto. Because we didn't care for the community, we didn't care for the rest of the world. Nilagay tayo sa loob ng bahay lang natin, no? Yun yung lesson. O sige, ayaw mo magmalasakit sa buong mundo. Diyan ka lang sa loob ng bahay mo. And if you don't realize that by now, no, yung interconnectedness, no, yung individual and collective accountability, then sayang lang yung 2020 mo kung di natin na-realize yun, no? So, patuloy na magkakaroon ng value yan. At pasusukat na siya ngayon. People will start measuring, dami ng resignations, no? Gaano karami nag-i-stay na empleyado, gaano karami nagre-resign, and the impact of that to resources, no? Gaano kataas yung training cost, no? And again, in the overall scheme of things, it's not just labor cost. Nakita yung binanggit ko dyan, no? Recruitment, productivity, retention, and profitability in connection with, seemingly intangible things such as culture and value. Yan yung magiging trend, no, sa HR.
And then the need for versatility in coaching and the value of leadership will increase. Ayan, very relevant sa atin yan.
Yes, oo, no. And tayo, kaya po tayo nag-o-offer ng maraming leadership segments, no, at maraming leadership coaching. Yan po yung dahilan. Sapagkat gusto po namin kayong tulungan. Nakita po natin yan nung pandemya, no, yung mga taong hindi sila specialist, willing silang, hindi lang ako pang front of the house, kaya ko rin mag-back of the house. Yan. Hindi na retrench. Yung mga magagaling magturo, nakitaan ng value, hindi ka rin na retrench. Di ba? Yung value ng leadership po, magaling na leader yan. Mahirap maghanap ng magaling na leader ngayon. And ako, buhay na patotoo po ako, yan po yung naging basihan ng decision. No? Yung mga factors na yan. So, magiging maganda yung industriya. Kasi people will be, kumbaga parang, they will be elevated, no? And they will grow and develop into better leaders, versatile frontliners and coaches. So imagine, no, ng industriya mas magiging maganda, mas magiging efficient, no? At yan naman ang pangarap talaga ng mga ibang tao rin na nagtatrabaho sa industriya, na bumalik yung glory days na pag sinabing sa restaurant ka nag-training, maganda yung training mo. Diba? And kami, sa Buffalo Switch and Things, no, that's our advocacy also, that lahat ng magtatrabaho sa kumpanya namin will be developed eventually to become ready and prepared to become business owners.
Pang dream team level agad.
Yes.
Mythical 5, ganon.
Para ano mo rin naman doon, ang motibo mo rin, I mean kami, motibo in terms of not just motibo na masamang pakinggan, but in terms of yung agenda, positive agenda natin doon, is to, in short, make the industry a better industry. Because, if you have better people within the industry, diba, magiging maganda rin yung industriya. So tingin ko, partner, hindi natin dapat pilitin. Yung ibang segment pa, gawin na lang nating part 3. Para there's something to look forward to sa ating mga
malaman masyadong malaman.
So itatalong ko na lang dun sa ating bago kita bigyan ng pagkakataong mag-take top 3 takeaways, no? Itatalon ko rin sa sorry makita nila. Yan. Itatalon ko doon sa ating Resto quote for the week. No? Sabi diyan, will the efficiency of service eradicate the desire for hospitality? Sinagot din naman niya yung tanong niya. Sabi ni Jim Sullivan, service fulfills a need, hospitality fulfills people. So, ang bold prediction natin, babalik po ang dine-in. No, medyo matatagalan lang ng konti, hindi tayo pwedeng maging careless. Sayang naman po yung naipundar na nating gains, no? Or sa lahat ng pagmamask, pag-face shield natin, pag-stay natin sa bahay, pag-physical distancing natin, no? Sayang naman, no? So, tiyagain lang natin. But again, no, ang sinasabi nitong quote na to is, ngayon maraming accessibility, convenience, no, na solutions na idulot yung technology, yung aggregators, but you have to realize that people will always desire to be with other people and to socialize with them.
Totoo yan.
So, nandun pa rin po yan. No? And I think before the year ends, 2021, mangyayari po yan. But syempre, may magiging mas mindful na tayo. Pag may sipon tayo, magmamask na tayo, para tayong nasa Japan, di ba? Pag nasa public transportation tayo. And I think that's good overall, good for the country. So para po sa mga kasama natin sa industriya, tandaan po natin to, no? Service should not eradicate the desire for hospitality. No? Even with all of these technological advances, our job in the restaurant industry is beyond providing food. It's providing comfort, joy, happiness, di ba? And an avenue for people to get together. Babalik po yan. No? Babalik po yan. And sabi ko nga, wag na nating siksikin, no? Next week, gawin nating part 3, yung tungkol naman sa real estate, no? Sa delivery segment, no? Iba pang, and of course, yung summary ng ating coaching points for 2021. So, ano bang laman ng notebook mo ngayong gabi, partner?
Ayan, hindi siya mag-kasya. So, tinitingnan ko kung paano ko siya i-compress. But one thing's for sure, sobrang nag-stick sa akin yung part na stricter standards across the business aspects is an expectation.
Yes,
That's
yes.
one. And then the second part is diligence in understanding your business in all aspects because the playing field has been redefined. Kumbaga, blank slate lahat eh. So kailangan bawat isang part, no small stone should not be unturned.
Agree.
And then, agree. And then the last part is creativity and innovation drive value higher, but still, in making sure to drive value higher, but still gain profit. With the caveat then and the critical ask, where the government support via scrutiny and helpful legislation is very much needed. Sobra ako na-enlighten dun sa yung sa facts that you were sharing, Coach, kasi from somebody who doesn't understand the small details that are very critical, kailangan niya ng boses eh. Sobrang kailangan niya ng boses.
Totoo, no? And I think the Resto Coach and Coach and Share in our own small way, along with our viewers. Kaya po, napapansin nyo, pasensya na kung nakukulitan kayo sa akin when I request, nanood na nga ako, gusto pa i-share ko, no? Pakilang po, para mas marami tayong ma-inspire, ma-empower, at ma-equip. Yun naman po ang ating goal dito, no? Inspiring, no, the hearts, empowering the minds, and equipping the hands of our Filipino resto negosyantes. And even kayo po na nagtatrabaho pa lang sa restaurant, balang araw, no, imbis na saka pa lang kayo mag-aaral magnegosyo, pag nagnegosyo na kayo, as early as now, no, manood po kayo ng mga episodes, lahat po yan. From episode 1, nakasama natin si parang Anthony Suntay, hanggang sa nilaunch po natin ang blooming career na ngayon ng ating sumisikat na si Miss Share, no? Ating Coach and Share. Lahat po ng episodes na yan, nandoon po yan. And along with articles and quotes and, short videos, no? Lahat po yan. Nandiyan po yan para sa enjoyment, no? Education, and whatever other good stuff that you can take away from it. Sa kagandang loob po yan ng the Resto Coach at ng Coach and Share. And with that, maraming salamat po ulit sa inyong lahat. No, mga pahabol po yung mga taga Valenzuela, Ronel Salangsang, and of course Miss Stephanie Rivera. Magandang gabi sa iyo, Steph. Nice to see you here. Christopher Coxeng, Ving Hevero Lumba, ang dami na. Nico Obregon, no, marami pong nanonood. Thirdex Olior and Lorraine, no, magandang gabi sa inyo lahat. At again, no, paki-share na lang po. Next week, part 3 ng ating it's going to be a better 2021 resto industry outlook. With that, I'd like to say stay safe, stay healthy, and keep your wings up. Good night.